Hello everyone, and in this video I am going to go over how to write the works cited for paper number 4 on Alex Nieto. So just as a quick reminder, remember we had this link with all of our sources on there that you have to read and go through for this paper. You are free to use any of these that you want. The ones that you are required to use are number 1, number 6, and number 8. Okay, so those are the citations that we're going to make in this video. But if you want to use any of the other ones, you certainly can. If you want help doing those citations, please let me know. Up on Cobra, I do have the same like I have with each paper. I have the document where you can go through and look at how to make the citations. And so here it is. Remember, we're going to put works cited with an S because we're going to have 3 citations. Remember, it's double spaced. You're not going to include any extra spaces in between your entries. You're going to have to hang indent your citations. Some people are still having issues with the date, so remember it goes day, month, year. Abbreviations, all right? There's always a period at the end of an abbreviated month, okay? All right, and so down below we have here our formulas, if you want to call them that, to use to create these citations. So we've got the article, and then we got the 2 videos, and then this assignment is due with your outline in the corresponding drop boxes before 11:59 on Thursday, December 3rd. Okay, so here's our format, same as usual for doing an article online, and then a YouTube video. Remember, a YouTube video can either be created by one person and uploaded by another person. So the person who created the video then goes first, title of video, and then the who uploaded it afterwards. Or if the person who uploaded the video is the same person who created the video, you'll start with the title of the video and then who uploaded it. Alright? So always remember that about YouTube videos. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to open up a Word document, change it to font size 12 and Times New Roman. We're also going to double space. Alright, in the center at the top we're going to put works cited. We're going to enter, put our cursor back on the left, and that's where we're going to start with our first citation. So as we look at our list again, we're going to put these in alphabetical order, and so I already know that the CNN video is going to be first. There we go. Sorry about that. Alright, so we've got title, we've got who uploaded it, we've got the date when it was uploaded, our web address. And this is from CNN Business, and they are actually the people who made it. So we're going to start with the title first. Alrighty. So, and you should be doing this as well on your computer. Remember, I had mentioned in the guidelines video, there are a lot of people who are still not following these videos and creating the citations. They're trying to do it on their own and they're not very successful at it. So why they're not watching these videos, I'm not sure. Alright, video titles, article titles always go in quotation marks, and then you capitalize the most important words. So gentrification. And then here they did use their own single quote, battle to save the heart, soul, and we'll finish it up that way. Okay, this is YouTube, so we're going to italicize that. YouTube, unitalicize, and then comma, and then you're going to put uploaded. You do not capitalize uploaded. Uploaded, CNN, business, and then the date. So remember, it goes day 6 May, and then the year, comma, and then we need that address. So we're going to copy, and then here we're going to paste. Okay, we're going to always put a period at the end of your citation and then enter. Now there's a hyperlink here, so when you're on a Windows PC, you're going to right click and remove the hyperlink. If you're on an Apple, I think there's a different method to do that. Okay, remember we're not finished yet though. So we're going to highlight this citation and then go up here to paragraph where we double spaced. We're going to go to special, hanging, and we're going to set OK. All right, so that is our first citation. All right, the next citation is going to be for the article. All right, let me move everything up here so we can see it. All right, so we're going to start with the author's name. All right, so Solnit, comma, Rebecca. And then title of the article, in quotes, capitalize all the important words. Death by gentrification, colon, the killing that shamed San Francisco. All right. This came, it's from The Guardian. I don't even know if they have their, yeah, they just have their symbol. Okay. So it came from The Guardian, so we're going to italicize Guardian, unitalicize, comma, and then down at the bottom, the publisher is Guardian News and Media Limited. All right, so Guardian News and Media Limited. Okay. Now we got to go back up, get that date, when it was published, right there. All right, so that we're starting with the day, so 21 March, period, space, 2016, comma. Now we need the URL, copy, paste, period. Okay, we got to go back, right click, remove the hyperlink. All right, now we have to include accessed on, and I'm going to use today's date, which is 20 November 2020. Now you use whatever day it is that you're doing this on, okay? Don't use mine. All right, and then we enter, okay? So now we're going to go back, highlight it all, hang it, and we're good to go. Okay, so that is number 2. All right, finally, we have our last source, which is number 6. Alrighty. So with this one, we've got our title, who uploaded it. They also actually created it. So again, we will start with the video title first, and that goes in quotation marks. So what happens when neighborhoods gentrify the business of life? All right, period, and then quotes, and then this is YouTube, italicize YouTube, unitalicize, comma, and then uploaded by Vice News, and then the date, day 30 May 2017, comma, and then we've got to get that URL. Alrighty, paste, period, enter. Alright, we go back, remove the hyperlink, highlight the whole citation, we hang it, and we're done. That is the works cited. Okay, those are the 3 required sources for this paper. Okay, so 2 YouTube videos and 1 online article, and so that took us 10 minutes to do in this video, so that's not too bad. That doesn't take too long to do. Once you continue to do them over and over again, citations become really easy to do. Now, when you do your parenthetical citations, you're going to use gentrification. You don't need to include the colon. What you'll do is you'll put gentrification in quotation marks on both sides, and then that will go in parentheses. Solnit, is what you'll use here. Now, again, with parenthetical citations, if you use her name, if you use Rebecca Solnit in that sentence or quote, you don't need a parenthetical citation because there's not a page number to go with it, okay? So if you use her name in the sentence, then your reader knows which source on your Works Cited page to use, okay? So it's kind of like you don't need to do it twice, all right? And then the same if you're doing the videos. If you say, in this video, gentrification, battle to save the heart, soul, whatever, then you don't need to put the parenthetical citation. But if you do, again, you're going to put the first word. You won't need to include the colon there, but you want to put it in quotes, quotation marks, because that shows that it's the title. It's not usually like the author's name like it is in the second citation. So you'll do gentrification for this one. You can put what or what happens in quotation marks so that your reader knows that's the source. Okay? So those are only the required sources that you need to have for the paper. Again, you can use any of these other ones. You don't have to get permission from me, but you've got to make those citations correct. And the pain about the Works Cited page is everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be italicized, commas, spaces, periods, all of that. Okay? So let me know if you have any questions on this. This is due with the outline on December 3rd. And we're just about done, guys. We are just about done with this semester. I hope you all are doing well, you're staying safe, and I'll talk to you later.